Good morning. It is daily vlog time. First of all, before I get into what I'm talking about today, because what I'm talking about today is has nothing to do with the house, but I just want to do a quick check-in about the house. Today was day one of like full normalcy. Both boys. I gotta stop calling this big old teenager a boy and a baby, and I gotta stop calling my man a boy. My man and the teenager. I'll start referring to him as that. Both are gone. One to school, one to work. I took an amazing bubble bath this morning. I was able to get the house finished up cleaning because I started the cleaning yesterday, but my partner just took him to school yesterday, and so when he came back, he was here for most of the day, and I didn't want to clean the house while me and him were like hanging out in the house, because I felt like that quality time that we spent yesterday was necessary, and it was. We had a really great time yesterday, just spending time together, watching some TV, and the energy was a lot lighter, so that was cool. But this morning, I folded up our laundry, put the laundry away, took me a nice bubble bath, cleaned the house. Normalcy is here, y'all. And that's what I need. I need normalcy. And I realize that I'm going to have to put more things in play for myself when there isn't school. Because now there's two children. When it was my baby bonus baby, it's just one kid, and for the most part, he's always spending time with his grandma. Now that it's both of them, sometimes it is just us four up here because grandma, like, okay, y'all, one of y'all go upstairs, or both of y'all go upstairs now because it's not just one person. And so now that I understand that I just have to give myself more things to get myself prepared for days where we're going to have extended periods of time where the whole family is going to be in the house, especially since I still work, even when other adults are gone and not really having to be responsible. So that's that, and there's that. I want to talk to us today, though, about one of the hardest lessons that I am still learning in life, but I have learned some elements of it, and then I'm going to let you know what my goal is around this thing. And I think it's a really great lesson to break down. It also gives you guys a chance to understand kind of, I always jokingly say, like, I used to be a reformed liar, or I'm a liar, or whatever. I get a chance to kind of talk to you about, like, my history with lying and how I have learned to get away from that, and then what am I looking to do in the future. And so that's what we're gonna talk about today. You know what I mean? I always say to you guys, I am a reformed liar, and I say that because it is the truth. I am not a truth teller by nature. And I have through some pretty hurtful lessons, I think, that I learned how problematic lying could be and is to both me and the world around me. And I want to share this to you in case you are a person like myself who thinks a little white lie is okay, or if you are a person who has been around me and have seen how problematic that is, and I just want to kind of give you an update on my life. But here we go. So as a little girl, I used to watch my mother do people's hair, and beyond just watching my mom, I've been a people watcher a lot of my life. And throughout my life, I have come to the conclusion that people really don't want to hear the truth. People want to hear what they want to hear, and people want to feel good. And I started to get to a point where I would tell people what I thought they wanted to feel good. And at first, it was just little white lies about like things like appearances. Like if one of my mom's clients had a hairstyle that I didn't too much personally care for, but it looked like she was having a good time and she felt good about it. If she went, "What you think, little baby?" I would just simply be like, "Oh, girl, that's cute." Lying. And then it got to the point where I started to lie for my own benefit. There is a lie that I think today is the first day that I am verbally saying this was a lie. In seventh grade, I'm 33, but anyways, in seventh grade, I cheated on a standardized test, and the teacher caught me. I looked at that teacher and my mother and swore on my life, her life, everybody's life, I'm so glad we all still alive, that I did not cheat. That teacher said, whether you cheated or not, I want you to retake the test. I told her, okay. Truth be told, I only cheated not because I didn't know it, because I was nervous and I was doubting myself. She had me retake the test on a field trip day, and I ended up getting a higher score on the retake than I got originally taking the test. I say that to say the very first big lie I ever told resulted in me doing better had I just relied on myself. I've done a lot of lying in my life because I've doubted myself a lot in my life. And I have to understand that you have nothing to fear and you have nothing to doubt about yourself. I continue to tell other lies that were big, and I'm not gonna go and break all the lies that I told down. But another lie that truly shook my life and taught me to stop lying about my intention and about what I'm okay with was the lie and lies that I told that resulted in me losing one of my best friends. I had a young lady that was my best friend since my freshman year of college. Me and her were about to celebrate 10 years of friendship in 2021 when my sister passed away, and me and her no longer are friends, and we stopped being friends in that 10th year. While there are a lot of other things in that relationship that also, while there are other things that absolutely contributed to that friendship ending, I recognize that my hand in that friendship ending was me lying about my intentions and me lying about my feelings and me not telling her my grievances with her and telling her them to people behind her back. At one point in our friendship, my friend asked me to co-sign for her car. I have a lot of financial trauma from being raised by a mother who did not have a lot of financial literacy. She will even tell you that she had to learn financial literacy later on in life, and as a result of it, sometimes she has regrets about how she handled her money, because my mom was an entrepreneur before that was the thing to do. My mom has been doing hair for herself for the longest and taking care of all six of us just that way. But because she did not have a lot of financial literacy, ways to build systems around making her money work for her, my mother still worked as a boss, but worked like a person with a 9 to 5, check to check. I know I'm going to get paid again, so I'm going to spend it all. That's kind of what our people are taught because we're not really taught how to do things with our money. As I got older and started to put myself in rooms where financial literacy was spoken about, I had a lot of financial trauma when I thought about the things that happened in my life and the way that I probably feel like I could have been set up better for a life had my mother had these things. That isn't anything against my mother because she just didn't know what she didn't know. And I'm grateful that she's learning those things these days. And I'm grateful to be able to help her with some of those things now that I've learned some things as well. But because of my financial trauma with my family, I felt two things when my friend asked me to co-sign for her car. First thing I felt was very afraid because if you don't pay this car note, I'm going to be in a bad spot. Second thing I felt though was guilty. I have judged my family for so much of my life for not having a lot of financial literacy, and I had just started in my life when she asked me to co-sign for her car. I had just started to shame myself for the way that I used to judge my family, and so I told myself that me co-signing for her car that year was me making myself feel better about something that wasn't even for that relationship to make better. Like I could have done something for my family if I was just feeling that guilt. And so that lets you know that guilt just doesn't have a place in your life. Like you shouldn't have felt that. Naturally, she struggled with paying the car. And instead of me telling her how that made me feel, I used to talk about her behind her back. And I felt like she felt that energy. And one day I hit her up and was like, and one day I told myself, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk behind my friend's back. I want us to work this out. But by then, the damage had been done. And I know the weird energy had been felt. And I was being very catty. I hit her up one day and was just like, what can we do? What can we do? Because we got to figure this out. And I want to help you out with the car. She never said another word to me until she told me that the car was being repossessed, and she told me to not speak to her again. I didn't hear from her again for another month. I didn't hear from her again for another month, and when I did hear from her, it was because my sister had passed. I think I said appreciate it when she told me, like, oh my God, my deepest condolences. I'm so sorry your sister passed. And I think I responded, appreciate it. Like, I was very cold, and it was because I was just feeling a lot of sadness behind my sister. Whatever. That's not the point here. The point here is I spent years of my life and years of a very valuable to me friendship lying about my real intentionality about what I felt because I felt like I needed to be one thing or another. I felt like life was black or white. And that's really the lesson that I'm trying to help myself learn these days is while I am also one of the most intentional, supportive, grateful, amazing people that I know, I'm also a liar. I can be catty. I can be fake. I'm a spoiled brat who needs a lot of attention. These things are not always positive connotations, but they are a part of who I am. These things are not always negative connotations, but they do not give me a right to look down on anybody. I am learning to be comfortable holding both of these hands open and saying, I am this and I am this and I accept that. I'm also learning to be okay with the fact that I can accept that, but you might not. And if you don't accept that, you might leave my life. Like, you might love me because I'm super supportive of all the things that you do, and I look at your content and I love you. But you might not be able to be my friend because you know when I'm just bullshitting and getting on the internet and saying things just to be coddled and treated like a baby, and that might rub you wrong. I'm okay with that because when I need to be coddled and told it's going to be okay, I feel that it's justified because of how great and intentional and beautiful I am. And there are people in this world who will coddle me and give me the attention and give me grace when I'm being a little catty and rude and disrespectful because of how supportive and aware and affirming and intelligent I am emotionally. There are people in the world who can take both of these parts of me and love me. But there are people in the world who look at both of those parts of me and be like, whoa. Just like there are people in this world who have those same parts, and I look at them and I go, whoa. There are 8 billion people in this world. We all can't drink from the same cup. I can't pretend to be anybody else's cup of tea, and I don't want anybody else to pretend to be mine. I spent a lot of my life pretending to be the things that I think people wanted to keep them around, realizing that that doesn't even help because now you're miserable as fuck because that's not who you are. Now I'm me. I'm me. And if that rubs you wrong, then there's an open door policy in my life. I don't force anything and anybody to be here with me, just like I won't force myself to be in any environment that makes me feel unsafe. And that is what I wanted to vlog about today. And that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. And to let you know that I'm still working on it. I'm still working on being okay when people stop being my friend because I'm deciding to be my authentic self. I'm still working on being okay with this being my authentic self and people going, that's not who you were because that's not who you were yesterday. Not knowing that who I was yesterday was a made up version of myself and now I'm choosing to be myself today. I'm still learning to be okay with the fact that everybody's not going to get it. They're not going to get it. People are not going to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing or how I'm moving, but that's okay because the people that are in my life at that time that are supposed to get it, I truly believe that they will, and they usually do. The people that aren't, it's going to be sad. I'm going to mourn those connections because they matter, but I cannot let those connections make me feel any less for myself. I am still whole and a great person, even if people don't want to fuck with me that once fucked with me. They are still great people, even if they no longer have a tolerance for the thing that I present and bring to this world. And I am getting comfortable with saying that and meaning it. Because when people leave my life, I say the meanest shit about them in their head. Because why the fuck would you stop being friends with me? I'm such a good person. But girl, calm down. It don't matter that you're a good person. This world full of fucking good people. You might not be the good person to be their friend or their mate or their whatever. And that's okay. Just like there are a lot of good people in this world that you walked away from. A lot of good people in this world that you pushed away. You have to hold yourself accountable. And I'm talking to myself, but if I'm talking to you too, take the shoe and lace it up. You got to hold yourself accountable for living a life that makes you feel fulfilled. And that has nothing to do with other people. And that's what I'm learning to get comfortable with. Even when it came to some of the stuff in this house that I was frustrated with, I had control over making myself feel at home in my house. And I need to start making sure that I put my feet in the ground and tell myself that and remind myself that. And that's how we gonna wrap it up today. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much, again, for being here with me. It's time for me to get started with work, but I hope you have a great day.